If you're starting university soon, here's everything you need to know to feel confident and prepared on day one. Hey guys, I'm Nadine and I'm here to share the ultimate guide to help you make the most out of your university experience. So starting university, especially as an international student, was daunting. No matter how much I tried to prepare, I didn't know what to expect. So today I'm going to share my guide to getting prepared for university. From packing essentials to time management to staying healthy and making friends. So you can start university feeling confident and ready. So the first step to getting ready for university is doing your research. It might sound obvious, but researching your university and your new city can make a huge difference. Start off by taking a look at your syllabus if it's available and getting familiar with your modules, your timetables, and any recommended reading. So since I was an international student, I already felt a bit behind compared to all my peers, but a lot of them had already taken law, which is what I studied at university. They took it as the GCSE. And I was an IB student, so this wasn't really an option for me. That made me feel even more behind. They were already somewhat familiar with the material that we were taking in first year, and if I had done that extra bit of preparation beforehand, I wouldn't have felt so behind. So trust me, having a head start will make things way less overwhelming on your first day. Also, make sure to research your campus and your new city. Have a look at your university's website to figure out what buildings your classes will be held at, and they'll also have some information on other useful locations such as the libraries, the student gym, the student union, that kind of thing. And you can even find some tours of universities on YouTube. So I went to the University of Bristol, so Eve Cornwell on YouTube. She went to the same university and she had a lot of content on her page about life in Bristol as a student. And that was great. Honestly, that was super helpful and I would watch her all the time. And I would just recognize certain locations from her videos. I feel like that really helped me as a new student. So yeah, familiarizing yourself with the general geography of your new home will make things way less stressful. Researching your accommodation is also a must. For example, you want to find out if it's catered or self-catered, if there are any shops nearby, and how you're going to get to and from university. Personally, my accommodation in first year wasn't within walking distance of the university, but luckily I had a bus stop really close to where I lived and we had a free bus pass in our first year. But for the first few weeks, I tried to walk wherever I could really to sort of get a feel for the city. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Another important part of preparing for university is figuring out a budget that you want to stick to. So everyone knows students usually have a tight budget. So determining how much you want to spend in each aspect of your life is going to be a massive help. So I would say prioritize your necessities like groceries, stationery, cleaning supplies, etc., but also leave room for fun like nights out and going out for food. Now let's talk about one of the more stressful parts of preparing for university, which is packing. I know it can be tempting to bring literally everything you own with you, but trust me, you won't need it. I would recommend only bringing things that you know you're going to need to use immediately. So when you get to your new room, you sort of get a feel of how you're going to organize everything. It's honestly so stressful having too much stuff in your room, so pack smart. Let's get into exactly what you should be packing. When it comes to clothes, focus on a few versatile pieces that you can mix and match. Bring a mix of casual outfits for every day and also some dressier options. You'll also need a really good set of bed sheets, pillowcases, and a really comfy duvet. Also, definitely don't underestimate the power of a good pillow. I'm someone that wakes up with really bad neck pain if my pillow's not good, and you really don't need neck pain when you're constantly studying. So I would recommend investing in a high quality pillow from the start. For the kitchen, I would recommend buying your utensils, plates, bowls, pots and pans when you get to your new city. Even if you're not planning on cooking much, you're definitely going to need cutlery, plates, and bowls. But maybe pack your favorite mug from home for when you feel homesick. And when you go kitchen shopping, don't forget to buy yourself a reusable water bottle and a travel mug for those early morning classes. And finally, don't forget your tech essentials. You'll need your laptop, all your chargers, and an extension cord. And if you're an international student like I was, you're going to need a few adapters. And make sure you have your headphones too for studying and music. Now let's talk about what not to pack, because like I said before, having too much stuff can be really overwhelming. First off, leave behind any summery clothes if you're starting university in the colder months. You won't be using them for at least a few months, so they'll just be taking up space in your room. I would maybe stick to a couple of light pieces in case your room gets too warm. Another thing I would recommend that you wait before buying is textbooks. I made the mistake of buying all my textbooks early on in the year and ended up wasting so much money because first of all, not all of them were required. And also, I could have borrowed the majority of them from the library. So if you don't want to waste money on buying books, make sure to borrow those books quick because they get checked out super quickly. Another way to save money on books books is by buying them secondhand. You can do that by buying them from students in the year above you, or you can buy them on Facebook Marketplace. Now let's talk about time management, which is one of the most important skills that you need for university. University can be really overwhelming when you're trying to balance your new life, your assignments, and the social aspect. But with these tips, you'll be able to stay on top of your university work and make the most out of your time. My first tip is to stay on top of your reading for each class. So for seminars and tutorials, you'll normally be assigned a list of reading that you need to do to prepare for class. I would recommend doing that reading for each class to the best of your ability. So that way when it's exam time, you don't have a massive list of reading to go through. It's also really useful to take notes when you're reading so that you have those notes to refer back to later on. Tip number 2 is to use the Pomodoro method. The Pomodoro method is really useful for making the most out of your time without burning yourself out. So for example, you would work for 30 minutes to an hour, and then you would take 5 to 10 minutes off, and then you would do that maybe 3 or 4 times. Then you would take a longer break. I don't know what the psychology is behind it, but when I feel like I have a set time to do my work, I want to get it done within that time. I would recommend the app called Flora to do this. Now, this isn't sponsored. I wish it was, but it's honestly so useful. So it allows you to plant a flower every time you complete a Pomodoro session successfully. And it can tell when you're on your phone, when you're not supposed to be. And when you do that, you kill your flower. Like, it doesn't grow properly. So it feels like there's a consequence to being distracted from your work. Buying study supplies is one of the most exciting aspects of starting university or starting a new year of university. In terms of the study supplies that you need, I feel like it depends on whether you're a person that likes to take notes by hand or if you would prefer to take notes on your laptop or iPad. Either way, some essentials that you'll need are pens, highlighters, a planner, and 1 or 2 notebooks. I wouldn't overdo it with the quirky and fun stationery because it's usually more expensive and you might not end up using most of it. One of the biggest parts of university is meeting new people and building friendships. This can be difficult if you're shy or introverted, but it helps to remember that everyone's in the same boat. My first tip to navigating a social life is to put yourself out there where you can. Attend any freshers events if you're old enough. I wasn't old enough, unfortunately, but they're a really good way to meet people. Orientations are another good way to meet people, especially people on your course, because you already have something in common. I would also recommend joining clubs or societies. You can get an idea of what clubs and societies your university has by looking at the student union website, or you can visit the Freshers Fair where you can actually speak to people from those societies. I was a cheerleader at university and briefly part of the DJ society. I don't know, don't ask. I met a lot of people by being part of those societies and even made a few friends. I also met my boyfriend by being part of the cheer society because he was an American football player, and cheer and American football would have socials together and we would see each other at games and stuff, so they were kind of interlinked in that way. In class, you can talk to the people next to you. You can talk about the course, whether or not they understood part of a lecture, and if you have any upcoming projects, you can organize a study group. Remember to be friendly and approachable, and that friendships take time, so it's okay if you don't find your best friend straight away. Universities are big and you're gonna find your crowd. While starting university can be very exciting, it can also be anxiety inducing. Getting used to a new life and new responsibilities away from home can be very overwhelming. It's completely normal to feel this way, and it's important that you acknowledge those feelings instead of pushing them aside. That way you can address the source of your anxiety early on instead of letting the feeling build up. For example, if your anxiety is related to assignments, a good way to manage that anxiety is to split your assignment into small, manageable tasks, and that way you can tackle them more easily. Having a routine is also great for a sense of stability. Make sure you factor in time for rest and relaxation, as well as study and assignments. This can be by making time to watch shows, going to the gym, or hanging out with your friends. Most universities have mental health services and counseling for those who need it. And you can also speak to your personal tutor if you're struggling. So don't be afraid to reach out if you need to. Keeping in touch with family and friends from back home is also very important. They're the people closest to you, so speaking to them can provide some reassurance. Now let's talk about self-care. It's usually overlooked when someone has a busy lifestyle, but making time for self-care can make a big difference in how you feel. Here are some self-care tips that you can integrate into your routine. Number 1 is getting enough sleep. Definitely try to stick to a regular sleep schedule when you can. So as a student, it's really easy to lose track of time when you're studying. A lot of the time you end up staying up late or pulling an all-nighter, which is actually really bad for you. And a lot of the time is actually counterproductive. Prioritizing your sleep and your rest means you can study more effectively. And tip number 2 is staying active. Staying active can really help manage your stress levels and your mood. You can do this by going for a walk or joining the gym. And it's a really great way to take a break from studying. And that's it for your guide to preparing for for university. We've covered everything from packing essentials and managing your time to making friends and taking care of yourself. I hope these tips help you feel more confident and ready as you start this new chapter. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that might be starting university soon. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so drop a comment down below letting me know what you're most excited or nervous about. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. And hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.